hello, loves. Hey, hey, hey. Hey there, kings and queens. Welcome back to another episode of Faith Helps Podcast. As you already know, should know, I hope you know, I am Dr. Diamond Booth, and I'm so glad that you guys are tuning in. So last week I kind of got like some mixed feedback about kind of liking the lives, kind of not liking the lives. The main thing being the fact that I'm in a car. Circumstances have led me here. So this is what I got right now for you guys. But anyway, I want to jump in, and today I want to talk about 5 hacks for restoring hope. So I work with a lot of people who struggle with suicidality and hopelessness, and a lot of people who just don't see what's next for them. When you've experienced trauma, when you've experienced a lot of pain, it can be easy to think that there's nothing that's going to change, that you're always going to feel hopeless, you're always going to feel like trash, you're always going to feel like you're unworthy, you're always going to feel like fill in the blank. That is not true. That is a lie. And when you find yourselves in those moments of feeling like things are never going to get better, I want you to try these 5 hacks for restoring hope. Okay? So the first thing that I want you to do is you got to interrupt that spiral. If you are in a hopeless spiral, you need to interrupt it. The first thing you do to interrupt it is you want to use your voice to actually speak against whatever is coming up. So if right now in your mind you're thinking, it's never going to get better, I'm never going to change, I can't beat this addiction, I can't beat this trauma, I can't beat this pain, immediately stop and say, no, I will beat this pain. And it's not just about the affirmations, it's about using your vocal cords to literally interrupt that spiral. Your brain can't do, as much as people love to say that they're multitaskers, you cannot do 2 things at once. So you can't keep thinking about all those negative things and actively saying something else, even if it's a song. Even there has been times when I find myself in an anxiety spiral, and I will literally, the moment I've realized it's happening, I'm like, oh my goodness, just start singing something. You can make up a song, you can do a song that you can start rhyming, you can start rapping off the cuff if you got it like that, but you want to interrupt that spiral so that it doesn't continue. And when it comes to interrupting that spiral, you don't have to just use your voice. You can also do skills that are physical, get it moving and use movement. So movement for you might look like, okay, I'm going to do some jumping jacks, or okay, I'm going to take a moment to go to the gym and maybe just walk on a treadmill. Maybe you're not into like the whole lifting thing, but maybe you just sit and you walk on a treadmill for a while. But you want to do something that's going to interrupt that spiral. Now, I'm going to turn this AC on because it's hot up in this car, y'all. And as y'all know, new vehicles, so I'm still learning how to get it to do what I need it to do without overdoing it. So we're going to see how this goes, because I want you guys to still be able to hear me. But a sister is hot, okay? A sister is hot. So yeah, you want to get moving. That's much better, okay? Look at God giving me the wisdom and discernment and common sense to turn this AC on, and He is going to allow y'all to hear me anyway, because I'm going to enunciate. So you want to get moving, you want to get exercising, go out for a walk, get out of your environment. If you're in a spiral of hopelessness or anxiety or depression, the worst thing you can do is stay in the room, in the house that you are in where it's happening. You need to leave, get into a different environment, a different scenery, just so that you can get outside of yourself and get outside of your mind. All right. The third thing you can do is journaling, of course. I'm always going to recommend journaling. The reason why you want to journal is because you're going to use this in the fifth hack that I'm going to get to a little bit later. But also, journaling allows you to think more clearly and process things. A lot of people have sensationalized journaling, and that's cool and all. But when you're doing it right, you're getting to the meat and potatoes of what you feel. You're getting to the meat and potatoes of what you are going through and why you are thinking the way that you are thinking, so you can better challenge those thoughts that are coming up. That's how you interrupt that spiral, is you examine it. Act like you're a scientist. Where is this thought coming from? Sometimes the thoughts that we think are our own are actually things that people told us from our past. Sometimes that belief that you're not good enough didn't start with you. It started with your mom or your dad constantly saying, I wish you were this, I wish you were that. Maybe they never explicitly said you're not good enough, but they treated you in a way that made you felt insufficient, made you felt less valuable. So the way that you get to that is parsing apart and examining those thoughts that are coming up. The second thing that you want to do, the second hack, is you want to revisit what God has already delivered you from and done for you. Okay? So in the Bible, they made monuments, they named mountains, they built tents, and they built temples, and they built altars to remember what God has done at a particular place. Sometimes you have to revisit what God did for you. There is a specific hallway where I tried to take my life, and I revisited that hallway when I started struggling with suicidality again. Because in that hallway, I heard God's voice so clearly. I felt his peace fall over me in a way that I never felt it before, and it's so hard to even describe how it happened. But I revisit that place because it's a reminder when I'm struggling. I revisit that place because it gives me hope again. And just like I do that, I want you to find a place, think of a place that God has delivered you, or that you met God, or you encountered God. If it's not a physical place, think of a moment and remember mentally where you are, where you were seated, what you were doing in that moment. Think about how you felt in that moment. I can still feel the peace that God gave me in that moment when I was like, I'm over it. It's not getting better. I'm tired of this. I cannot handle another second of this. I remember what it felt like when I felt my muscles relax against my own will. I remember what it felt like when I felt the coolness rush over my skin. I remember what it felt like when God came and gave me peace when I thought I would never see or feel peace again. Remember those places and revisit them. Revisit them often if necessary, so that you're constantly reminded of what God can do, so that when you are in a current situation of hopelessness, you're like, I remember that altar. I remember that temple. I remember that moment. I remember that monument that God showed up when I thought that he wouldn't, when I thought that no one would be there for me. So you want to revisit those moments. The third hack that you can do is be honest with yourself and be honest with God. You cannot sit there and lie and tell yourself, I'm fine when you're not, or I'm gonna push through when you're not. Okay, that's being delusional. I want you to be realistic. And see, sometimes people mix up affirmations. They think that affirmations is, oh, I'm gonna say that I'm not struggling with depression when you are struggling with depression. That's delusional. That's not using an affirmation. You want to be honest with yourself and recognize when you need to get help. What are your warning signs? What are your red flags? What are your triggers? If you notice that, okay, every single time I start thinking like this, usually what follows is I start binge drinking. Okay, how can I get ahead of that? I can get ahead of that by calling my friend who knows my challenges, calling my mentor and letting them know, hey, this is what's going on. I need you right now. I need somebody to show up for me right now. Emptying out the liquor. before you wait. You don't wait till you get to that point. Empty it out, take it out of the house. Better yet, make sure the drugs, the alcohol, whatever you use to alleviate that hopelessness and distract yourself from it, you want to remove it so that you don't fall into it. It's easier to fall in temptation when it's readily available to you. It's harder to do it when it's not there in the first place. So you want to make sure you're setting yourself up for success, setting yourself up and being honest with yourself of what you can and can't handle. Maybe right now you can't handle going to a party because you know that you're already feeling like F it. It doesn't matter anyway. Life doesn't matter anyway. I might as well just go out and wild out. Maybe you can't handle being in that type of environment right now. That's okay. And it's not a forever thing. It's not a death sentence to that version of yourself. It's just the version of yourself right now needs a little bit more TLC, needs a little bit more gatekeeping, needs a little bit more monitoring. And it's so that your future self will thank you. And being honest with God, I don't know why it is taught in church and in most Christian circles that you have to, censor yourself when you're talking with God. No. Why are you lying to God about how you feel? If you feel like God has abandoned you, but you're praying, God, thank you for continuing to cover me, you're lying because you don't feel that. You don't feel that covering. Tell God what you feel. He can handle it. He's got enough for it. And he wants your honesty. He wants a broken and contrite heart. We quote that scripture and we don't even really examine what that means. A broken and contrite heart. There's nothing beautiful about that for us. But God sees that. He sees the beauty in it because he sees that we're coming to him in full transparency and honesty. And he can work with that. God can do something with that. He can use that. So when you come to God and you're telling him, God, I don't see where you are. God, I feel like you left me. God, I feel like you've abandoned me and left me for dead. God, I feel like you set me up for failure. God, I am hurt. God can respond to that. He can show you in his word where that's not true. He can show you what he's actually doing. He can show you how this is going to be turned for your good, even though the enemy is attacking you. He allowed those attacks for a reason. And he can also show you when the enemy is attacking you through other broken people who haven't surrendered to God. Sometimes we forget that we live in a broken world with broken people. We live in a world with people who are hurting. We live in a world with other people who are going through challenges and they are not yet there with God. Some of them don't even believe in God. And so it is in your best interest to take a step back and remember that and allow yourself to be honest with what you're feeling. In your romantic relationships with your husband or your wife or your children, you're going to be honest. Babe, that hurt my feelings when you said that. Baby, I don't like the way you were talking to me just then. Baby, I asked you for this, but you did that. I don't understand why you did that. That disappointed me. I feel frustrated with you. If you would do that in your romantic and earthly relationships because you want to preserve them and build them and heal them and grow them, why aren't you doing that in your relationship with God? Do the same thing there, okay? I'm calm down. I know I went in. I'm going to take a step back. But be honest with yourself. Be honest with God. The fourth hack, different from affirmations, is speaking life, okay? When you're speaking life over yourself, you're still acknowledging the present. And you're starting to speak that hope. And you're starting to speak that peace. And you're starting to speak the faith that you're trying to have. What that looks like is, right now, I am in a dark place. And God, I am asking for your help. I am believing that your word says that you give peace and that you are a rock and that you give covering and that you give comfort, that you are the great comforter. That is what it looks like. What does it look like? It looks like this. I have so much hate in my heart right now that I can't even see straight. But I will not allow it to overcome me. I will not be conformed by this hate. I will be able to come out of this. What does it look like? It looks like this. I don't even know what is up and what is down. Right now, I feel like I want to take my life right now. But I will live and to fight another day. I will live another hour to fight another day. I will fight more for myself, more for my family, more for my children. That's not a lie. Because if you're listening to this right now, you're a fighter. If you're listening to this right now, you do have hope. If you're listening to this right now, then you have a part of you that hasn't given up. So get past the part of you that gave up, that flesh part of you that gave up, and start channeling into that part of you, no matter how small he or she is, that part of you that is still wanting to fight, that part of you that is still seeing that silver lining, that part of you that is still hoping for more. Target in and focus in on that part of you. Which leads me to hack number 5 is find a new lens. Focus in, just like a camera can zoom in on certain parts, zoom in and zoom out as you need. Sometimes you need to assess your situation, okay? Maybe you're too zoomed in on your depression. Maybe you're too zoomed in on all the things that are going wrong this week, and you need to zoom out. And you need to say, okay, a lot of things have gone wrong this week, but what's been going well? What has worked in my favor? What has happened that I didn't expect? What has been a happy surprise? Maybe it's something like someone paid for your coffee. Maybe it's something that you got the parking spot that you wanted. You didn't have to walk up that hill. You may be laughing at that, but that is something that will give you so much peace when you are dealing with the beasts of mental health. There have been times that I was so out of it mentally that even walking up a hill felt like a battle. And something as small and simple as having a parking spot where I am right now, so that I wouldn't have to walk all the way up that hill lugging my luggage around, but I was able to do this quick little walk. I didn't have to worry about being in the heat or being in the rain. It gave me peace. So you need to find those things that give you a new lens. Find those things that give you a new sense of hope. Now, on the other hand, if you are too zoomed out, maybe you need to zoom in. Maybe you are focusing on way too many things in your life right now, and you need to zoom in on, okay, let me focus in on this one thing that happened this week that went my way. Maybe right now I'm being pulled in a bunch of different directions. I got the kids over here asking for this. The job is telling me my time's up. The business failed. The book isn't launched. I don't know when I'm going to get that paperwork. I am going through a divorce. And there's too much. Focus in. Give yourself an hour to focus in. Focus in on the last thing God told you. Focus in on the last time you felt God's presence. Focus in on the last time you felt relief. Focus in on the last time you felt hope. And because the last time that happened means that there's a next time. If you felt hope before, you can feel it again. If you felt happiness before, you can feel it again. If you felt peace, powerfulness, and serenity before, you can feel all those things again. They didn't disappear. They aren't extinct. They can't go extinct. So they can happen again. They will happen again. They will happen again. You will see a future for yourself again. I know what it's like to feel like I don't even care about my future. Like, you talking to me about my future, I don't even care about it. I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like to want to give up and throw in the towel. Zoom in on the one thing that is keeping you going. Maybe it's those children that are dependent on you. Maybe it's that one person at your job that keeps saying, every time I see you, you give me hope. Oh, you have so much lightness about you. I love being in your office. I love being around you. Maybe you are there for that one person. And you focus in on that, because that experience reminds you that you have purpose. That experience reminds you that you have a calling. That experience reminds you that you are needed, you are necessary. That reminds you that there is more for you. They are just a precursor. Some of the things in our life are just a precursor for something greater. I know the enemy wants you to think that it's the precursor that things are going to go downhill. That's not what we want today. Right now, I want you to focus on, this is a precursor of hope. Man, I've been praying for a husband. I've been praying for a wife. I've been praying for a spouse. I'm honoring my body. I've been keeping myself holy. I haven't been out here in the streets. I haven't been throwing tail at anybody that would take it. I've been holding myself holy and accountable. I've been celibate. I've been absent. I've been in my word. I've been inside reading books, bettering myself. Where is my spouse, Lord? I've been faithful to you. Where is my spouse, God? Huh? Everyone around me is getting married. Home girl, my home boy, they are out here wilding. They're cheating on their good spouse. And yet I am here obeying you, God, and I don't see it happening for me yet. Maybe that's how you feel. Remember, it's a precursor of what's coming for you. And it's going to be 10 times better because you have been doing all that work on yourself. It's going to be 10 times better, and it's going to last. It's going to last. I was about to say longer. It's going to last because you've been doing this work on yourself. And God isn't a God who does things small. If you know anything about God, he's a big God. He does big things. If he can raise an army of dry bones and give them life again, surely he can bring you your husband and your wife. Focus on the good thing. Don't focus on all the other things that are overwhelming you, right? So that is hack 5. Figuring out which lens you need right now in this season that you're in, and use it. My hope is that you are challenged to keep fighting. My hope is that as you go into the rest of this week and this weekend, is that you decide you're going to live to endure another day and another day. And you're going to take it step by step. And you're going to take it a moment by moment. And you are going to use these 5 hacks to help you find and take back the hope that you once lost. And I say once because it's not permanent. If you feel hopeless right now, you're going to get that hope restored. In the name of Jesus, you will get that hope restored. You will have that breakthrough in the name of Jesus. And I want you to say these things. It will happen for you. Oh my goodness, I know what it's like being there. Oh my goodness, I know what it's like being there. Ooh. Just try a little bit longer. Fight a little bit more. Look for God a little bit deeper. Listen for him a little bit more. When I look back, there were times when God was speaking, but I was so overwhelmed by everything. Overwhelmed with the depression, overwhelmed with the suicidality, overwhelmed with all of the responsibilities, that his voice was drowned out. And now there's things I look back on, I'm like, oh, God did say that. God did do that. Figure out what you need right now and do that. Maybe you need a journal. Maybe you need to zoom in or zoom out. Zoom in or zoom out as you need. And focus on not giving up. Continuing to find that hope. Continuing to search it out. If I told you that there was $2 billion in a haystack in a barn, and it's just you in that barn, and you got to find it, and you can keep it. There's no time limit. I guarantee you, you will search. If it takes you day and night and day and night, you will keep searching until you find that $2 billion. Because you know that it's there, right? You believe that it's there, right? You have faith that it's there. You don't have no competition, and one's fighting you for it. So you're going to keep working for it. The same thing with hope and faith. It's there. It does exist. You don't have to search out the science of it. If you believe in God is a God of hope, peace, love, all the fruits of the Spirit. There is hope available to you. There is faith. There is another opportunity that things are going to get better. It's there. And ain't nobody competing with you for it. It's just you and that hope. You and that faith. You and that grace. You and that mercy. You and that love. You and that financial freedom. You and that business exploding into success. You and that family being renewed and healed. You and your mental health being streamlined. You and you feeling a sense of anxiety just releasing from your body. You and finding that depression doesn't have a hold on you no more. And it's in that barn. It's just you and that. And for you, for this analogy, the barn in this scenario is whatever the circumstances are that are surrounding you. Your immediate circumference, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. That's what you're competing with. Nobody else. Nobody's going to get it before you get it. No one's fighting you for it. No one's going to find you before you find it. It's there for you to find. It's there for you to take. And it's there for you to keep. Now, I hope that you have a blessed Thursday evening. I love you guys. And remember, faith helps. All right? Now, y'all have a good weekend. And continue to endure. Continue to regain and reclaim your hope. If you have questions, if I didn't go deep enough, if there's something that didn't make sense, put it in the comments. Let me know. I actually care about this, because the thing that I found with God is He uses the things that afflicted us for us to help others get out of. Right? So a lot of the things that used to afflict me and keep me bound, I now enjoy helping other people with. I get excited to help other people with. That's why I'm in the fields that I am in. A still tongue is a wise tongue, they do say. But a closed mouth don't get fed. So if you got questions, if you want me to do another episode that goes a little bit more deep into this, if you want me having more guests, I'm trying to get the guests. The guests don't want to come on the camera shy, okay? So while I'm praying for y'all, pray for the guests to not be camera shy, to come on over to Faith Helps, okay? I don't know where that borderline country accent came from just now. I'm goofy, y'all. And stay goofy. If you silly person, refine that silly version of yourself. And just take a full moment to just be goofy and silly. Laughter really is the best medicine, and it can heal a world of pain. So I hope that this weekend you do something that helps you reclaim your hope, helps you restore faith, builds up your spirit, encourages you to keep fighting, and helps you to remember that faith always helps. Peace out, y'all.